I'm Charlie Robinson, and this is my wife, Cheryl.
What are some adjectives that you would use to describe Jose?
Friendly, loving, caring, just an all-around great guy from my perspective. As a young child, he tried to come across the border several times illegally, and generally what happened was, I think he was like in his early teens, they would just turn him back and say, go home. On one occasion, for whatever the reason was, he doesn't know, nobody knows, the guy was having a bad day, they decided to arrest him. And I believe he was like 14 years old. They bring him in, go through the whole court and all that process, etc. They inter him temporarily and then deport him. So later on, he comes into the country, gets in illegally, comes to Denver, he and his father, and they hook up with this wonderful guy, Lou. Lou helps them get his green card. And at the time, to me, that's where the system failed, because when he applied for that green card at that time, that thing about his deportation was on his record. It didn't come up. So they gave him a green card. He had a, quote, felony on his record. So this is now like a year ago. He decides, since he had his green card, been in and out of the country from Mexico back and forth, that he would go for his citizenship.
When they filled out the paperwork and that for his citizenship, they did not get an attorney to help them with it. They did it on their own. And so then they...
One of the questions was...
Right, and the paperwork and stuff, it said, did you have a felony? And he said no. And so that's what started the whole court procedures and that. And he didn't know he had a felony.
He didn't know he had a, quote, felony on his record. He's been in the country, what, for 15 years? Mm-hmm. Had a business, had employees, they owned property, they had a house,
3 cars,
etc.,
camper.
I mean, total BS. They got an attorney. They had an attorney through this whole process after that, at that point, who basically said, and went to several of the meetings, that our only hope would be if Trump wasn't elected, because she felt truly that if he was, nothing was going to change. It was just going to get worse.
Are you ready? Are you ready? We will build a great wall along the southern border.
I don't know. And slowly you try to crawl out of it, but whatever. Do a little more pot, drink a little more, whatever. Because you can't, you can't change anything, and it's destroyed our lives. Mm-hmm. Totally.